This is Deb, otherwise known as Motorcyclemommom. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about this dam run. But before we do that, let's take a look at some of the pre-ride activities, and then I'll be back to talk to you about the ride.
I can't get enough. Oh, your sugar on me. I can't get enough. Got the peaches, I got the cream, sweet potato, saccharides. I'm hot, so hot, sticking sweet from my head to my feet. Do you take sugar? Come on, my water. Take the bottle, shake it up, break it up. Step heels, kicking rhythms of social circumcision. Can't close the closet on a shoebox full of
great, you're still with me. Awesome. Let's go ahead and talk about this ride. So I was really excited to participate in this 22nd annual dam run. It was my first time participating, which kind of surprises me because I'm not really local, but I'm from that area, but I hadn't heard about the ride before. So first time going and first time videoing it, so all of that was exciting. But the ride left from Brandywine, Harley-Davidson in Chadds Ford, PA, and it was by donation only. So a lot of times with rides, there's a set fee for the rider and then a different fee generally for the passenger. Usually it's 25 bucks for the rider, another 10 bucks for the passenger, something like that. They vary a little bit, but that's just average of what I've seen over the years. So this one was by donation, so you paid whatever you wanted to pay, and I paid what I would normally pay for a ride. And you know, for me, this is a really important cause, which I'll get into in a little bit. But it did benefit the Breast Cancer Foundation of PA. Another bonus for me is my favorite local band, Wild Side, was providing the pre-ride entertainment. So I got to hear them and see some friends, which always makes for a good day. So in the pre-ride briefing, we were informed that the ride was going to follow Route 1 South over the Conowingo Dam and into Darlington, Maryland. There'd be a quick loop around like a side road that put riders back on Route 1 North, and then we would head back to Chadds Ford, PA, back to Brandywine, Harley-Davidson. So if you're not local and don't know the roads that I'm talking about, Route 1 in this area is just one long road. So at the point of leaving the dealership, there's several red lights that you go through for a while, and then it becomes what locals would consider the bypass. And that is just a regular highway with exits and entrances, but no red lights until you get into Maryland, and then you get back into red lights once you get into the Maryland section of the road. So it's a nice ride, and it's a pretty easy ride. This was not police escorted, so it was explained to us that we had to obey all traffic laws. So that meant as we started out and got into the red lights, the group got split up. So as you're looking through the video, there's times that I don't necessarily cut behind me too often, and that's because either I had a car that jumped in, not realizing what they were doing, or just not having a clue. But anyway, I could talk about that, but I'm going to be nice and just let that go, because people don't know what they don't know, right? Anyway, so you'll see where the ride does get broke up a little bit just because of that, but it's still, you know, it's still awesome anytime you see that many bikes on the road. So it was pretty cool. So anyway, we did the ride down Route 1 South from Chadds Ford to Darlington. It's about 42 miles. So we chose, as did several others, to stop at Eisenhower Chesapeake Harley-Davidson in Darlington. And that is right as we were turning around on the other side of the dam. That's where this other dealership is. And we were going to stop there, one, because it was already like 70 miles from Magnolia, where I live, up to Brandywine Harley. So we already did that in the morning. And then the other 42 miles, I was ready to just get off the bike for a moment, get something to drink before we started on the next leg of the journey. So we went ahead and stopped there, looked for a couple of things, just took a break for a little bit, talked to some folks. Actually had my very first impromptu YouTube interview with somebody else that's creating content or planning to be creating content and have a channel. So that was kind of cool to meet him. So hopefully he's listening to this and does go ahead and move forward with his plans. But anyway, so we took our break. Going from Darlington, Maryland back to my house was over 90 miles if we were going straight back, like the fastest route. And of course, we didn't do that. Why would you take the fastest route back, right? Anyway, it was a really great day for us. We made a whole day of it. And after we left the dealership, we stopped and got some lunch, went and visited some family, and then went home. So the ride home was way over 90 miles, but it was a beautiful day and no complaints at all. I was just happy to be out on the bike and enjoying myself and life and just everything, especially with this other piece that I'm getting ready to talk about. So again, I had said that the ride does benefit the Breast Cancer Foundation of Pennsylvania. And this cause truly impacts my heart and my family. I've had 3 aunts diagnosed with breast cancer. We lost one, my mom's twin, in 2016. I've lost 2 cousins to breast cancer as well, one biological, one by marriage. Melissa, at the time of her death, left behind her husband, my cousin, and 2 young daughters. She was way too young, and her daughters needed her, so did her husband. So it's a very sad thing to lose somebody that young to breast cancer. And then my cousin Diana, who was much more like a sister to me than a cousin. We were very close. And Diana struggled and fought really hard to hang on as long as she did. She always said she wanted to see her youngest graduate from high school. And she also found out in that year before she passed that she was going to have her first grandchild from her oldest son. So she was really wanted to meet her first grandson. Both of her sons were way too young, and shouldn't have had to lose their mom at that age either. I mean, they were both adults, but they were very young adults. And both Melissa and Diana were just way too young and shouldn't have. They still had a lot more of life to experience and to look forward to, but cancer took them away far too soon. And let's just say that cancer sucks. And I'm sure that anybody listening to this, you've been touched in some way by it. You know exactly what I mean. And if you haven't, you're really fortunate, because my family certainly has, not just breast cancer, but others as well. But that's what today's, this ride was for. So that's why we're talking about that. All right, getting on to another subject before I get emotional about this one. A little bit about the Conowingo Dam. Again, if you're not familiar with the area, I actually lived in Conowingo for about 8 years when my kids were younger, so I know the area pretty well. The Conowingo Dam itself opened in 1928. My grandfather had stories when he was young of going and watching it being built. There was actually a town that's underneath it on the upper side that got flooded when the dam was built. Of course, people weren't in the town at the time it was flooded or anything like that, knew it was going to happen, but there is still, there was a town there. There is no more. It's water. And the dam is located on the Susquehanna River between Cecil and Hartford counties in Maryland. So on one side you're in Cecil County, you go over the dam, and then you're in Hartford County. There is a park called Fisherman's Park. It's on the Hartford County side, and it's also known to be a great place for spotting bald eagles. So if that is something you'd like to see, great place to check them out. And there's also an interesting visitor center that's open to the public. I have not been there literally since I was a kid, and we'll just say that's been a little bit of time. So I'm thinking that might be somewhere I need to take my grandsons and visit with them and take them down to the park too. I think that they would enjoy that. So go ahead and enjoy the ride as we wrap up here and take a look at some of the pictures from Eisenhower Chesapeake Harley in Darlington. Also, please, if you have not done so, please subscribe to this channel and hit like on the video. I would really greatly appreciate it. And until the next time, everybody enjoy life and live shiny side up. Thanks.